Bullshit, I can't hear you. Sound off like you got a pair.
Hey, Gumby. What's up, brother? Cypher, the stream's just starting. I'm not even pooping yet. Yeah, I regretted that word as soon as I said it. Hey, Potion. I was just saying, what's up, Gumby? Happy Moon Day. The unusual Moon Day stream. But I feel bad I've been missing so many, so I wanted to make it up to you guys. All right, I got the lab booting up. We're going to keep working through Bitstream. I'm just working on getting a couple of... I'm working on getting the initial shell back up here. TikTok, Mr. Vic. TikTok. Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah, you're right. TikTok. It actually is that time. Hang on. Woo. Let's see if everything's going to work right. Yeah, the camera's working. Okay, cool. Hang on. I'm actually going to experiment with something. So the lights I've got up here in the studio, they're currently set to about 80%. I'm going to turn them down a little bit and see how it looks. All right, so 70 is looking pretty good. What about 60? Even 60 is looking pretty good. Whatever I can turn these down and like not have it look crappy, because whew, they are bright. Anyway, what's up, guys? I hope you're all having a magnificent Monday. Like I said, I have been feeling bad about missing so many of the weekend streams because so much stuff has been happening. Race season's getting ready to start back up. I was like, okay, I've been promising some makeup streams for a while. So, I'm going to make good on that promise tonight. We're going to do some more hack and slash. Dude, the lights are so bright here at the desk that if I have any crap on my glasses, I'm just blinded. It's like looking through fog. There we go. That's better. Need to do the spooky undercarriage lighting. Eventually, I will put some stuff up on the wall back there to try and make this a little bit more like a studio. So that desk will be turned into like a proper battle station for SOC. And then also I'm going to mount a TV up there. Yeah. I'm going to mount a TV up there that I could have like some kind of like animation going on, something cyberpunkish. And that's the eventual plan. You just love making those commands, don't you, Gumby? All right, let's see where we're at real quick. Okay, cool. We are back here. So I just went and reestablished all the connectivity to the lab real quick. So I popped back into our SQL with Impact SQL client, popped back in there, got a reverse shell. I could have just spawned the C2 payload directly, but honestly, I don't remember what the path is. So I was like, forget it. We'll just do it this way. So let me grab that real quick. Let me go ahead and spawn us up another C2 payload. Let's copy that. And then let's go check in Mythic. We should see a new payload callback here. Hopefully. That's a negatory Ghost Rider. All right, let's do it this way then. Let's see. There's our a.exe. We did this before. Let's go ahead and just spawn us up a system shell real quick. So let's copy that. Let's do... I forget what the command is for dead potato. Hang on. We did this here. In this callback here. Where was it? That was seatbelt. Yeah, here you go. Okay, it's .exe, and then we just put in what the executable is. So what we're going to do is we're going to run dead potato tac net4.exe tac.exe, and then give it the path to what we're running, which is our C2 payload. Did I copy it wrong? Is that what happened? Okay. It didn't like that for some reason. We did this a little bit differently last time. Let me see if that will work. Go, dead potato, go. Let's see. Hey, 404, what's up? Welcome in. All right. It might... Hold on. Let me check Mythic real quick. Ah, there we go. Sweet. So we did get the new system callback. Excellent. Excellent. Also, 404, thanks for coming online, man. That little dial sound makes me so happy. All right, let me sleep this callback down. So let's do a sleep 10. That's going to give us a 1 second callback with no jitter. It's just going to bop, 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 bop. We could also do a sleep 0, but you know what? 10 is just fine. It's a very binary choice. Okay. Let's see. So what's the next thing Tyler had us doing in this lab? So we're still going through Bitstream, which was like the intro AD range, which I really like. It's been fun just to go in there and tinker around with. Let's see. The next thing he wants is, what user is convertible? Okay. So let's go do that. Now, the kicker is here. We did capture Bob's password. Bob's password is Pokemon. But we got to catch all the accounts. So let's go do this. So what we're going to do is let's get a list of who's Kerberoastable in here. We could do this one of two ways. We could do this through our C2 callback. I think we could also reach the DC from our workstation. But you know what I want to do? I like working inside the C2, so we're just going to do it in the C2 callback. Yeah, like Gumby was saying, 404, if you got questions, feel free to ask away. The guys who've been watching for forever, like Gumby, they know that I have zero problems just taking a hard turn out into left field to answer questions, if I can. I like to tell people, if I cannot dazzle you with my brilliance, I will baffle you with my bullshit. Let's see here. So what do I want to do with this? Let's go ahead and do... Do I want to do a make token? Actually, let me see what commands we've got built into Apollo. I think there may have been one. I think there may be one for doing Kerberoasting. I don't think so, actually, no, I take that back. I don't think there is. So we could do two options. If we want to approach this kind of like a real pen test, red team, whatever, which we already are not because we're dropping stuff onto disk like it's hot potatoes, like, or dead potatoes in this case. One thing we could do is we could either go SOX proxy in, like Impacket, or netexec, which is just an Impacket wrapper, but it's cool. I like netexec. And we could forward it in there. I think we actually may be able to get to the DC directly. Hang on one second. I think there's actually... I thought there was a command in here for that. Let me see. Reg query, nope. Let's see. Steal ticket. Actually, you know what we never did? We never actually listed like what tickets we've gotten here. And I'm curious to try that with some of the tickets that we've got in here. So what do we have? We have ticket cache, steal token. We could go, well, we're running a system, but stealing a token could be handy. Let's see. We could always just do a K list. Normally I would use Rubius and run triage to do that. I suppose we could do that. Let's see. Ticket cache list. List all Kerberos tickets in the current login session. Okay, let's go try that real quick, actually. Because I haven't messed with the built-in Apollo ticketing stuff. Normally, like I said, I would do this through, like, Rubius. Let's see. Ticket cache list. I want to see what it comes back with. Do we has any Kerberos tickets? Only thing we have in here is we've got some sequels in here. What does the add button do? Ooh. This is... So Cody told me he was adding some new stuff into Apollo where you could actually more easily do ticket management in here. Nice. Okay. Well, we don't have a base 64 ticket for him, but... maybe we can request one. Let me look at those ticket options again. Get ourselves a little Kerberos-y action happening here. Well, not Kerberos, it's like Kerberos tickets. We do need to Kerberos, though. We need to figure out which user is Kerberosable. Okay, so he doesn't directly have the ability to request a Kerberos ticket in here. Let's see. What's your thoughts on self-hosted programs for bug bounties? Are you talking about like running your own stuff for doing bug bounties, or are you talking? What do you mean by self-hosted in this case? Now, granted, I don't do a lot of bug bounties. I got a lot of friends that do. It's just not something I ever really got drawn into. It always felt a little bit like working for tips. Granted, some of those tips are pretty sick. Let's see what else I've got in here. Maybe we'll just use some Rubius in here. Let's do execute assembly. Let's go get ourselves some Rubius happening in here. Let me see. Sharp collection. Where's our Sharp collection? .NET X. Let's see. .NET 4x64. Rubius. There we go. Give me some of that sweet, sweet Rubius action in here. Arguments. I want to see triage. Give me some triage. Man, that's something else I gotta go set up. Gumby, you just reminded me about. I still need to set up the Kick alerts for everybody over on Kick, but I also got to set up stream element alerts. Because honestly, I didn't even know about the tipping thing until you pointed it out, and I think you're the only one who's actually used it. There we go. Okay, so what did Rubius come back with? We have, actually, hey, look at this. We actually have Bob's TGT right here. Nice. Nice. So there's a couple different things we could do with that. We also have Bob's LDAP ticket right here. We could dump that and use it. Very cool. Everything else is coming back as SQL. So for the ticket cache right here, let me try one more thing real quick, because I think, let me see. Ticket cache list. Are there any options to put with this? Okay, cool. I could put in a LUID. So from an elevated context, a LUID may be provided to target a specific session to enumerate. Get system tickets. Let's see. I'm going to run this one more time. I'm going to turn, because I don't know which LUID to target in there. But maybe if I do get system tickets, it should list them all just like Rubius did. Let's see. Bring this over. So here's our, okay, so gotcha. So I got to do that get system tickets true, and then now I can see Bob's tickets in here. Nice. Okay, action. I want to extract. So that did a ticket cache extract. So now we should be able to use this in here. So let's go try something real quick. Let's do a make token in here. And what we'll do is we're going to make a new login token. So username, I'm going to call this one Bob. Ooh, actually, what should it be? Hang on. Bob at bitstream.hsm. I'm going to try this. Copy cell. Let's see. So when we make a token, we can actually go make one with this. So username, we're going to do Bob. Password, I'm going to actually just put in fake in here. We're not going to do anything. And then net login only, that should be fine. So let's go ahead and task that. Let's see. Okay, so we should be impersonating Bob. So now let's do ticket cache add, extract, list, purge. Is it add? No, it's not add in here. I want to go inject. So now what I've done is, hang on, let me bring up. Do I have paint up? I have 2 paints up for some reason. That's okay. Here, let me clear this one out. So what I did here is not clear the thing. So fill, clear this out. Boop. So whenever you're in here in Windows, inside of basically under LSAS, right? What you're going to have is you're going to have all these different local, I forget what it said. Locally unique IDs, LUIDs, basically. These LUIDs act as buckets in here. So one bucket could be for all of Bob's stuff in here. And another one could be for all of the SQL Server stuff in here. So what we've done whenever we do the make token is we're actually spinning up a new LUID over here. So this would be our fake Bob right here. Now, the good thing about this is when we do it this way, now we don't have any tickets nested under it. So Bob has his tickets listed under here, right? So he had his KRB TGT, which is his ticket granting ticket. That basically is like we have Bob's password. He had LDAP and he had something else. And then SQL has its own set. But when we go create this new one, we don't have anything in there. That's right. It's not LSAS, it's LSAS. We're going to list the ass. All right, so what ticket commands do we have? Cache add, extract, list, purge. Let me try something real quick. What if I... Actually, hold on. I bet if I do ticket store add, ticket cache add. I'm going to try this. I wonder if I can use existing ticket. Hey, there we go. Sweet. So I can now... this functionality was a little bit janky in in Mythic 3. In Mythic 4, Cody has put a lot of work into making this much more operator friendly. So unfortunately, I need to know which LUID to put it in. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to try it. Hang on. I was going to try it without the LUID. Let's see. I don't know what that resolve references button did. Okay. So now if we do a ticket cache list, we should see Bob's ticket in here. Hey, let's go. So now we have Bob's Kerberos TGT. So what that means is whenever we're touching things out on the network, we can impersonate Bob by using his TGT because we've injected into this new fake LUID we've made. Hey, Chris, what's up, brother? Yeah, warning, excessive lurid. That's right. We got ourselves a fake lurid up in here. What's up, Hale? Oh, let's see. So now with this, we may have... I think this will work. Let me try something real quick. Hang on. Let me check something real quick. Because I don't do this with Rubius very often, even though I know you can do it. Let's see. I gotta look it up real fast. Getting Proxmox started? Nice. Nice. I have my Proxmox server. I don't know what's going on with it. I think it's because I've got a new theoretical range type that I'm working on, which is going to be really cool once I get all the kinks and the bugs sorted out. But it's kind of a chunky range, and it's currently deployed over on my Ludus server. But once I get it all kind of laid out, I'll give you all the behind the scenes look. Okay, so it's just Rubius Kerberoast stats. Let's see. So let's run that real quick. Let me come back over here. Execute assembly. Well, we will select Rubius. There we go. So it is Kerberoast stats. Let's see. Unhandled exception. Let's see. Current security context is not associated with an Active Directory domain or forest. What? What? There should be a way to specify the domain. I think it's /domain in here. Yeah. So let's do this again. So what we'll do is /domain would be, what is this? Bitstream.htb. Good old hack in the box. Actually, this may be, because of the way it's doing the fork and run, it may be trying to not use this account. I don't know. We're gonna find out real quick. Let's see. Specify a domain either does not exist or cannot be contacted. What? What? I know it can. I did do domain. You know what else we could do? Hang on, let me try something else real quick. Because typically, I can never remember this. I always have to go double check. Using a hook script to get open WRT automatically to restart every rebooted. Ooh, nice. Hold on, what are you using open WRT for? Are you running that in a VM on Proxmox? Because I'm pretty sure you could do that. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to rev to self real quick. And then we're going to do another make token in here. Excuse me. And we are going to use Bob at bitstream.htb. Password. We'll just go ahead and use this password in here. Task. Oh, that's cool. Okay. All right, let me try running this assembly again. I'm going to try it with just Kerberoast stats. Oh, you know what? I just realized. Look at what the user is. It's SQL/Bob. I think we're supposed to do domains. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's one of the things that is still a little bit of a gripe I've got. So when we do the make token in here, there's no example of what format the username should be in. So it's supposed to be bitstream / the username. We'll do Bob right here. I'll go ahead and use his actual password. Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon. Okay. And then I'm going to try this again. Notice how now it says bitstream / Bob. Nice. Chris, have you tried Ludus at all? Because you can run your normal Proxmox workload there, but I really like Ludus, man. Let's see. Total Kerberostable accounts. 1. Target domain bitstream. Oh, it's bitstream.hsm. I did HTTP because we're usually doing Hack the Box. I'm an idiot. It's not Hack the Smarter box. It's HackSmarter HSM. Duh. Hold on. Now I want to try one more thing real quick. I'm going to do another make token. Because now that I know what format it was actually expecting in here. Okay, so bitstream / No! Stop it! Stop! Don't do it! Don't do it! Damn it. I fat fingered it. All of these piggies had roast beef. There we go. All right, hang on. So make token. I'm going to make myself a new Lewid in here. And then now I'm going to very carefully type it in. Bitstream / Bob. Password. Fake password. Just like that. Boop. And then we already got a copy of Bob's TGT. So then what we're going to do is we're going to do ticket cache add. And we're going to use an existing ticket. We're going to use Bob's. And we're going to task that. There we go. And now just to make sure, let's do a ticket cache list in here. Doing try hack me rooms? No, this is from Tyler who runs HackSmarter. This is one of his ranges over here. So if you go to hacksmarter.org, this is one of his ranges on there. I really like it. I think he's got a pretty cool setup. Let me drop a link to it in here. So this is actually just his baby range. Like this is like the easy one in here. So what we're going to do is we're trying to figure out which user is Kerberoastable in here. This is what the range actually looks like. So we kind of start with our VPN connection. We're supposed to go from the web server. On the web server, we got SQL Server credentials. And then we're still running on the SQL Server. We escalated over to system. We found Bob's password in the registry. He was set as the default login user, which is kind of weird because it's a SQL server, but anyway. And now what we're doing is we're actually talking over to the DC. We're going to try to figure out who's Kerberoastable in the account. So we're going through and doing all the various questions in here. Hold on, how do I back to lesson? There we go. So the next question is we're trying to figure out which users are Kerberoastable. I'm actually just doing a little bit of testing also with Mythic 4 now that we've got it in here. So we see Bob's Kerb TGT. So I want to try doing another Rubius run in here and see if it will use this or try to use like the built-in literal connection. Because we put in a fake password for Bob when we did this, but now that we've got a TGT, it should prefer the Kerberos TGT for that. Excellent. So it did use our system in here. So I think stats just tells us hang on one second. I'm trying to check something real quick. I just want to list the user out first before I go pulling them. It's by default, what is it? By default, Rubius will try to pull Kerberos tickets for every user in the environment, which could be super loud. So what I like to do is be very precise about it. Like get a list of which ones are Kerberoastable and then know that, okay, this one will actually get me somewhere. It's worth the attempt to do this. Hey, Groovy, what's up, dude? What are you hacking? Why are you hacking? That's the question we all ask ourselves. I know the answer to one. The first one is we're going through HackSmarter's cyber ranges. over here. Boop. So we're going through this one right here, his Bitstream, which is like the baby AD one, but I'm having fun with it. Let's see. Hang on one second. I'm trying to double check something real quick. Okay, so apparently if we just take off, so there is no, okay, I think that's an oversight in Rubius. There's no way to list. You can only list and roast in one go. That doesn't feel right though. I don't want to just, I want to, hang on. Let me go pull up the documentation for Rubius real quick. Where's, here it is. Hang on. Let's see. Rubius, GitHub. Okay, there's Rubius. Let me double check something real quick in the Kerberos section, because I know there's a way to list the users. Let's see. Kerberos. Here we go. So we use user, domain, simple. Let's see. Ticket deleg, LDAT filter, RC4 OPSEC. We could also just specify the user we wanted to use in here. I'm surprised it won't list them. That's kind of wild. So the stats command will list which ones we've got in here. But really, it won't just let me... All right, fine. I guess we'll just fire it then. Normally what I'd like to get, and I don't feel like digging out a different tool to do it, but normally what I'd like to do is get a list of which users are Kerberoastable and then go pull them, and so I'm not just spraying and praying, essentially. Make it a little bit more precise. Damn it, I probably should have turned on no wrap in here. Yep. All right, so there is Eddie. So Eddie is our Kerberoastable account that we've got in here. Let's go answer that question. Who's Kerberoastable? Eddie is. Correct. All right. What is Luisa's password? Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to go get ourselves a Bloodhound collection. So what is the IP address of the domain controller? That's DCO1. I know I could just go look it up in here. DCO1 is 10025. I don't know if we can even reach that from here. Let me see. NetExec SMB 10.0.2.5. I just want to see if I can touch it. Can I touch it? I'm going to touch the butt. Okay, we cannot. But, and there's a big but, we do have a workaround for that because we have ourselves a C2 connection in here. Just use Evil WinRM. You know what? I like Evil WinRM. I also simultaneously hate Evil WinRM because Evil WinRM is the biggest lying tool that I've ever seen. It's really cool. And that I like the fact that you can use it, right? It works in some extents, but also that damn thing will lie to you. For example, if you have a long-running session up in there, it will die server side and completely spawn you a new PowerShell process, and then you will know nothing about it until you try and do anything, and then you get squashed by AMSI. So it needs a little bit of TLC. And you know what? I also hate Ruby. I can't stand the Ruby coding language. I just don't, right? Same reason like I don't like, I don't know, Brussels sprouts. I just don't. Also, hey Ford, what's up? Wish you could set no wrap as the default. You can, actually, Ford. What you could do is, fork Rubius and then just modify the code and compile it. Boom. Then you've got wrap. Aw, wrap. Let's see. Now the question is, do we need Eddie's password in here? There's Evil WinRM Pi, but it lacks a lot of features. I have been It's been on my perpetual to-do list to go. Let me try that. No wrap. Hang on. Let me run this real quick. It has been on my perpetual to-do list, especially with the advent of the awesome coding agents, to go completely do a port of Evil WinRM to something that doesn't suck and go add in a lot of those creature comforts that are missing in it. You don't like Brussels sprouts even roasted? What about broccoli? No. Broccoli is what my food eats. Okay, here we go. So now we got this. Let's see. We had Wraith running up here, but we don't need it anymore. We use that as part of the initial thing. Let me HackSmarter. Hey, Brackets, thanks for coming online, man. Welcome in. I hope you're having a marvelous Monday. Now, heads up, guys. I don't usually stream on Mondays, but I have felt very bad that I've been missing several streams over the last couple months. Stuff has been happening. I missed Saturday night stream because I had to go check on my mom. So I was like, okay, I'm going to probably make good on those makeup streams. I've been promising everybody we're going to hop in here. We're going to do a stream tonight. So normally I wouldn't be streaming on Mondays, but I owed it to everybody because I've been kind of just, like I said, missing too many of them. Let me see. Hold on. Where are we in HackSmarter? Range Bitstream. There we go. Let me do something real quick here. Let's do Eddie. Let's see. What do I want to call this? Hang on one second. And we'll just call it Eddie.hash. Why not? What is this? Why did it not? Insert. Paste. You bastard. Copy. What in the heck just happened? Oh, good God. Good gravy. What is happening here? Okay. Undo. Undo everything. Go back. Go back. What happened? Do I need to... Do I need to set paste in here? Maybe I was just using the wrong buffer? Okay. Is it still running in the background? No. Let me cat that file real quick. Okay, we got that. Let's see. Hold on. Thankfully, I still had this John command in the background. Let me bust this real quick. Let's see if we can crack Eddie's hash. Okay, you know what? I don't think I need the format. There we go. Hey, thank you, Tyler. You always know how to set a password in here. Okay, so now we've got Eddie's hash also. So let's go. Or we don't have his hash. We have his password, which is better. It's more better. So let's go make a note of that real quick. Let's see. Captured creds. Oh God, what happened? No, I lost it. There we go. Captured creds. We've got. Let's see. Bitstream /Bob. There we go. And then we've also got Bitstream /Eddie, and his is Superman, just like that. Boom. You saved that. I haven't saved those. Oh, I was playing with fire. Hang on. I just left it up in the buffer. That's all right. This is fine. Everything is fine. Let me save that in here. We'll save this as notes.txt. There we go. So now we might have some extra stuff going on with Eddie in here. So the one thing I want to do is we have two options. I want to go do a Bloodhound collection without cauliflower. No, cauliflower is just pale broccoli. So we have two options in here. I want to go do a Bloodhound collection and just, give us a full picture of like what's going on in the environment. We could either go do Sharphound in here and go pull that, or we could also do, what is it? We could just basically proxy it in and do it that way. Hang on, I'm double checking something on Sharphound. I think Sharphound had a way to store the results in memory and then return them without dumping them to disk. I'm just trying to double check it real quick. I like broccoli and cauliflower, but you gotta put cheese on them. That's right. Then you're pretty much just, then you're pretty much just eating the broccoli and the cauliflower as a vehicle for the cheese. I mean, now granted, that's the same thing I do with bread, right? Bread is just a vehicle for carrying the butter. Hey, Zach, what's up, dude? Oh, that's a bummer, dude. Hey, I did not pass the OSCP the first time I took it either, dude. I missed it by like 2 points because I didn't get a screenshot and I didn't realize it till like I was writing the report. I like to call it analysis paralysis is what happened. Like I was sitting there and I was working on stuff and focusing on it so much. Now, the second time I took it though, thankfully I had already been working as a penetration tester by that point for like 6 months. So I was very, very comfortable with the loop. I planned my attack out methodically. And the second time through, I completely BTFO'd it. I had full points and completed it in like the report submitted in like 24 hours. Basically, I had the report set up where it was already laid out and I could just fill in the blanks and get everything going good and then just submit that sucker. Okay, hang on 1 second. We're gonna do this with Sharphound. Yeah, we'll do it that way. Actually, no, you know what? Let's do it the fun way. Let's go ahead and proxy this sucker in. So what we need to do is we need to run our good old command socks in here. Wait a second. I just noticed something. Hang on, I know it's down here. Hang on, let me pause the music. Okay, watch what happens down here. I know it's kind of tiny. Let me see if I can make this any bigger. That's what she said. Okay, watch what happens here. I didn't notice that Cody had added these breadcrumbs at the bottom. Check this out. So if I type in sock, that's not a valid command. As soon as I type it in, bam, look at that. Look at that. He's got all these nice little breadcrumbs in here. So I could do tac port, right? We're going to do port, let's see, like 10001. There we go. Why? Because why not? And then, let's see, action. Choose one. Hold on. Let me try this real quick. I didn't know Cody had added this. Action. So what actions do we have? Start, stop. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and start it. And we could throw it a username or password, but okay, that's a really cool like creature comfort to Mythic. That's awesome. All right, so we're gonna start a new socks proxy. Hang on. I gotta zoom this back out so I can keep track of like what's actually happening.
Welcome, agent.
Let's see, what is that? Holy crap. Laughin is practically an APT now because he has maintained persistent access, persistent shells for 19 months. Damn, dude, that's wild. Thanks, man, I appreciate that. Another month coming on. That's what dude, I was just talking to Sock about that. She's like, hey, if we miss the deadline for this thing, we won't be able to get it till the end of September. I was like, well, babe, it's already the end of August, you know. So one of the things I realized about the OSCP is I need better Windows privilege skills. So I knew where I wanted to go, but I couldn't figure out how to get there. Also, AD enumeration is much different than Windows privilege escalation. It is. Windows AD is a completely different beast in there. And I have been debating if I wanted to try to get access to the new OSCP to go check it out. Because for a little bit of context, I took the OSCP before... Actually, I take that back. I didn't sit for the OSCP the first time I took it. I took the course, which was pen testing with Backtrack back in the day. That was 2010 when I took that. And I mostly just took it for fun, to be honest. I didn't really see myself going into security at that point. I was kind of set on becoming like a network engineer, even though I've been doing computer hood rat stuff since the 2nd grade. I am a fossil, I know, right? So I took that lab then. fast forward 2018, I got my first job working in offensive security. I was like, okay, I really want to go knock out the OSCP finally. I'll go through and I'll do it. I studied a lot. I learned a lot. The information was paying dividends that whole time, right? Well, I go take it, and the lab from 2010 to 2018 had not changed very much. So then when they started doing the big revamp, I was cautiously optimistic. It sounds like they have gone real heavy into some things. I was honestly a little sad in my nostalgia heart of hearts that they took out the buffer overflow. I thought that was very good, like basic information to have. At the same time, I understand that for the most part, I'm not slinging buffer exploits anymore, man. That was a thing back in the day. Now, probably 90% of what I do is abusing misconfigured systems, basically default abusable friendly standard settings in things. And the other 10% of the time is some kind of an exploit. And probably only 10% of that 10%, so like 1% of the time, is it any kind of a buffer exploit. Okay, so now that we got our SOX proxy going, let's go do a little bit of setting up here. So let's do sudo vim etc. What is this? I'm trying to remember. Proxy chains. There we go. Guess it would help if I typed in sudo correctly. Sudo. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to change this to 10001 and change this to SOX 5. Because I believe it was SOX 5 we had started up in here. Let me see. Yep, SOX 5. Okay, so we're going to change that. Boop. And then now what we can do is we're going to run netexec again. What happened? What happened? Do we lose it? Netexec? Okay, it's not in here. That's fine. We'll do this again. So let's do proxy chains. We'll do. Let's see. Oh, I forgot that I didn't turn the music back on. Netexec SMB to 10.0.2.5. That should be the IP address of the DC. And we can already see, because of the proxy chains output, we can already see that it's connected. We're looking good there. That's our DC. Excellent. So earlier, we couldn't do that, right? If I take out proxy chains, you'll see it's just not going to work. That's fine. There's network segmentation happening in here, right? Which is the way it should happen. But because we're now able to do the SOX proxy through the SQL server, and the SQL server is joined to the domain, it has to be able to talk to the domain controller. Cogito ergo sum, we can go talk to the DC over here. I wanted to take the OSCP Plus when it came out just to see how much the test had changed, but the code they sent for the OSCP holders didn't work. Aw. I remember when they sent that code out, and I just didn't jump on it. Impacket skills. Mad impacket skills. So now, actually, let's see. What we can do now is... let's change all this stuff. This was left over from a different command. So I'm going to do Bloodhound Pathon in here. Domain will be bitstream.hacksmarter, not hack the box. And we'll go ahead and use Eddie's account in here. So Eddie's password was Superman. Username Eddie. Let's see if we can get a Bloodhound collection going. Well, actually, hold on. That's going to fail because I didn't proxy chain it. So proxy chain. Proxy chains. There we go. Oh, the DNS resolver is timing out on here. Do we need that? Hang on. Let me take that out. Let me see if that will work. Okay. Couldn't find the domain controller. Ah, damn it. What do we got to do with this? Let's see. TAC DC. Okay, so that's what I need to specify. So let's do TAC DC, DC01 dot bitstream dot HackSmarter. Rip. Didn't like that. Failed to resolve LDAP server IP.
Okay, hold on. What was that? That was NS. Can we specify the LDAP server in here too? Is there a DC IP option? Use LDAP S. Yeah, that should be fine. I tell you what, let's do something else real quick. Let's do sudo vim etc host. That is not correct. There we go. Oh, yay, thanks, past me. I already put all those in. Hooray. Let's see, hold on. What was the error it got then? So it was able to connect to the Kerberos port. That's fine. Connecting to LDAP. Failed to resolve LDAP server IP. Let me try setting that again. Was that the name server? Here, I know you can't see it. Let me bring it up here. 10.0.2.5. Let's try that. I bet it might be having trouble because I think it's probably trying to do UDP resolution. Oh yeah, not sponsored by Jocko yet. Yes, if we were not connected to the domain controller, then we wouldn't have gotten, or sorry, the VPN wasn't still up, right? If I take this off, we'll see connections for Kerberos, right? Kerberos authentication happens to port 88. We wouldn't see any of this. Proxy chains would just fall on its face. All right, fine. So what we'll do is we'll just do it through here. Okay, fine. Fine. Execute assembly. Let's get ourselves a new executable. We will do sharp hound. Wait, that's sharp handler. We don't have sharp hound in here? Whack. Okay, hold on. We can actually get it from... we don't have Bloodhound up and running right now. Okay, we can do this. Hang on. We can fix this. Action split. There we go. Let's see. I don't have Bloodhound in here? I bet I probably have it in tools. Oh, no, there's the Bloodhound CLI. Let's go ahead and bring up Bloodhound real quick. Does Bloodhound Pi have a... Does it? Oh, it does have a TAC DNS TCP. Okay, hang on. Let me try this real quick then. TAC DNS TAC TCP. I'm going to specify the name server too back here again. So we'll do 10.0.2.5. Because the domain controller should be... Hey, let's go. Let's see. Oh, it also is using LDAP signing, so we're using some LDAP S. Okay. Okay, that's good. Let it do its collection in here. Now, I like seeing this sometimes because I want to see, like, hey, what is proxy chains actually doing? But we could also put a TAC queue in here after proxy chains, and we wouldn't see all the network telemetry, the different connections being stood up in here. So it tried to connect over 389. We got refused. Authentication was refused because signing's enabled. So now it's trying over LDAP S. Boop. So I assume it's dumping everything right now. So we'll give it a second. Which I needed to stand up Bloodhound anyway, so... Let's see. I think we had a problem with Bloodhound in there. Let me see. Okay, so it says they're running. I gotta remember, what was the port for it, though? I don't remember. Let me see. Let's see. 7687, 7474. I don't remember which one it is. Nope, that ain't it. That's the Neo4j browser. What is this one? 7687. Let me try that one. I don't remember what port it was. Nope, that ain't it. Which ones are running in here? Oh, weird. Okay. So for some reason the... Oh, I bet it's probably getting clobbered. Hang on, let me bring it down real quick. So it looks like the web front end didn't actually come up in there. I'm usually a proxy chains tech queue supremacist, but for troubleshooting, that's good. Yeah, I usually like to see it because I like to know if it automatically dies or anything. Hey, Bobby, what's up, dude? The Mac attack is in the house. I also switched operating systems mid-exam because my daughter's Windows PC sucked. So I switched to my Arch Linux laptop. Nice. Yeah, I usually tried to make sure that I had something that was up and running and very capable before that was going to happen. I bet we're getting a port conflict in here. We might need to go modify this YAML file right here. Let's see. Driver field externally connected. Oh, because 8080 is already in use. Yeah, that's it. Okay, hang on. Let me bring it down. And then I'm gonna vim that. Let me see. What's running on 8080? Let's see. GraphQL engine? Oh, it's getting clobbered by... yeah, I know what's happening. It's getting clobbered by... What's that? By Mythic, because Mythic's running on 8080, and we're doing host exposed. That's right. Okay, you know what? Hang on. That's fine. Where's my command? Sudo vim. Where's it? Vim. Here we go. All right. That's all right. We're just going to do a little bit of change like that. There we go. And now let's do Bloodhound up. I'm pretty sure you get extra points on the exam for using an Arch laptop. You definitely get extra bragging points, that's for sure. So, I have been watching playthroughs of Cyberpunk 2077. I'm dying to play that game. And it's funny that there's an entire perk tree that you can do in there called, just called Cool. And that cracks me up. So when I finally get to play the game, I'm just going to do a cool Netrunner build. I'm going to just Netrunner and cool. I want to dive back into Cyberpunk 2077 in the worst way. Dude, I really do. Address already in use? What? Who the hell is using 8081? Java? What the crap? Oh, damn it. Okay, hang on. Let me try this again. We had, what was that? We had Burp Suite running. Damn it. Okay, fine. Down. Take it all down. Shut it down. Bring it back up. I want to put all my IRL points into cool and come out with no skills. I was so confused, like, what the heck do I have running on here that's Java? And then I remembered I still had Burp Suite up. It's the only Java app that I've ever liked. What is going on here? Connection reset. What? But see Docker proxy up. Maybe it's just not up yet. Load, damn you. Hold on, while this is thinking about coming up, let me go check and see. Oh, it failed. Damn it. Invalid server address. What? All right, let me force it to use LDAP-S this time. Let's see. Use LDAP-S. There we go. Let's see if it'll work now. Hey, Skater Die, what's up, dude? Welcome in. So I'm new to all this and coming back with a vengeance. So learning programming at the moment, but also want to do some Catalytic stuff, which is part of my comfort zone since I'm mastering IT fundamentals slowly but surely. So what's a good progression to do hack-wise with home lab VNs? So my preferred way, if you've got a system that can run it, because it can be a little bit resource intensive, but there is a platform called Ludus over here. Ludus.cloud. It is a great way for running stuff in a home lab. So here, I'm going to drop a link to that real fast. I love Ludus. And if you just go over to, where is it? Resources. Go to the docs up here. They walk you through everything in here. And this is a post from 2021, right? 90% of security research is getting the test environment stood up properly. And this is so amazingly true. So Ludus helps streamline that process, especially if you want to do repeatable environments. It basically boils down to once you've got the configuration set up, some of the bits and pieces, you can have like a one file definition of what a lab looks like. So for example, if I come over to environment guides and we just look at, where is it? Where's the basic AD one? Here we go. Basic Active Directory. So going through and setting up a lab like this would be a pain, right? You'd have to go, if you want it to be like an isolated network, you have to go set up a router. You got to go set up Kali. You got to set up your 2 Windows machines. You got to go turn on domain services. Then you got to go join the workstation. Ludus can basically operationalize all of that. And then plus, like if you want a specific routing where like, hey, only TCP 443 and 8080 are allowed through here, and basically everything from here in, that makes it a whole different scenario, the stuff you got to go configure on the router. All of this collapses down into this one YAML definition here. Boom. So once you get this all set up, and they've even got skills in it for different coding agents to help you like craft these out, it's super handy. So I recommend everyone go through the trouble once or twice of having to set up this lab by hand. But once you kind of understand what it's doing, Ludus is very good at like making it fast and reproducible. I got a Ludus sticker to put at DEF CON. Nice. Gotta put that on my Nook. That'd be awesome. I could use a Ludus sticker and I'd stick it on the side of my old Dell Tower server. So right now I've got VM set up with 2 adapter modes that lets one connect to the internet and the other one doesn't. So I don't have any route set up, but this sounds easier. It's very easy. So if you want to see like if your hardware, like if you have a dedicated system to do that, I think come over here to the install Ludus and it tells you kind of like what kind of systems you need. But a lot of people run these on like Nooks, Intel Nooks. It's a little bit troublesome now with this requirement of having 32 gigs of RAM because my God, is RAM expensive. Ugh. That's the only downside to Ludus is the one bottleneck in it. Damn you, Bloodhound Pie. Why are you failing? The one downside to Ludus is like you do need RAM to run all those virtual machines, right? Yeah, I definitely recommend checking it out, dude. It's a really fun system. Okay, well, this is failing on me. Makes me very sad. Why the hell did Bloodhound never come up? I see it up and running. Let me do something real quick. Hang on. Please check something real quick. Docker compose status. It's not status, it's PS. There we go. All these are up. They're up for 6 minutes in here. Did I change the wrong one in there? I think I did. Oops. Docker compose down. Let's just take all these down. Arid came by and sat down with me in the food court, not realizing we had met an hour prior. That's funny. Let's see. I need to change this one back to 8080 right here. I believe that's it. All right, let me see if that will work now. I got too much stuff conflicting in here. Okay, let me see if this will connect now. There we go. Ugh, I don't remember what it is in here. Password 1234. Damn it. I don't remember the password. Let's see. Default password. I think this is it. Right here. Let's see. Grep. Password from here. There we go. Let me close that because we're not using Wraith anymore. We were using Wraith when we were getting our initial cross-site scripting foothold. There we go. Dark mode, please. Oh, thank you. All right, let me look at something real quick. Download collectors, download Sharphound. Get that. And then, let's see, administration. Let's see. data quality, database management, delete data, all graph data. Yep, just wipe everything. Delete. Type delete this in environment data. So I'm doing this because I have stuff in here from other labs that we've done. I just want to go through and wipe them out. All right, let me come back over here. Let's CD to downloads. Let's unzip SharpHound. There we go. We have a SharpHound PS1. Ooh, we could try that. Nah, it's fine. This is fine. Everything is fine. Let me move the SharpHound executable over to tools. Oh, because it's not lowercase SharpHound. Ah, there we go. Let me also, I'm going to move the PS1 too, because I want to try that actually. Because something else we could actually try to do is, let's hop back over to Mythic now. We could do this with the .NET and execute assembly. Let me see. Power pick. PowerShell import. That's the one I wanted. I want to try doing this with the... Nope, that's not right. Doop. Change this. Let's go back up to tools. Where is SharpHound PS1? Open. Task. Now if we do... Let's see. I think we do power pick... Hang on, I gotta see what's other real quick. I don't remember if it's like SharpHound underscore something, like get underscore SharpHound or whatever. Doesn't look like the prices for RAM are going to be going down. I was reading this morning, prices in Panama Canal have gone up 16 times since June last year. Damn. That's crazy. There we go. Okay, so what I want to do is, it is actually invoke attack Bloodhound. And then, hang on, I'm going to just copy this real quick. Copy. Bring this over, but I'm not going to do collection all. I'm going to do DC only. I want to see if this will work. Everybody knows you're supposed to use admin1 as the password. They never try that. Dude, the problem with the RAM is supposedly it's like it's all just being slurped up by all of the AI hyperscalers, right? The problem is a lot of people are realizing that they can't just buy indefinite tokens. Those tokens do have a cost, and the money coming out of what's being consumed by the tokens isn't supporting the token burn rate. Okay, we should have something in here. Let me do an LS real quick. There's our Bloodhound collection, so let's download that. So when we download that, what it does is it moves it from the agent over to Mythic. So from here, we actually need to download it to our system. So now we've actually got a copy of it. So what I'm going to do is move that over to, let's see, HackSmarter, range, Bitstream, and then we're going to CD over there. Awesome. So now what we can do is we can throw this up in Bloodhound. So let's go do that. So let's see, file ingest, upload files. And where is that? Let's see, HackSmarter, Bitstream, this one. Open, upload. Hey, Shy Hat, what's up, man? The HackSmarter grind continues. Yeah, man. Dude, it's not even a grind for me. I'm having fun here. I have been working on so many different projects that having like just a little bit of like dedicated AD time and messing around in there, it's been like, oh, yes, I'm back in like a comfortable, familiar pair of shoes, right? You put on that old pair of sneakers that you got that just fit right, and you know that they're not going to win any beauty contest, but you don't care because you're happy and they're comfy and they're familiar. Yeah, that's where I'm at with this. And so I've been enjoying it. This isn't even a grind. This is just get some reps in. I haven't been on a penetration test like this since February. I've been working on a lot of research projects and other weird one-off security assessments. So I'm happy. You know, like you were talking about on your stream, Shy Hat. By the way, guys, if you're interested in a lot of coding stuff and fun coding challenges, that's what Shy Hat's been streaming recently, doing a lot of lead coding, and super fun guy. But I've been enjoying it because, like I said, we were talking about like skills getting rusty if you don't use them just for a month. I was like, well, I haven't used these in several months, and yeah, I feel rusty. So we're doing a couple things. Mythic, which is my favorite C2 platform, framework, really. It got a big update. This is the version 4 beta. So we're testing that out. We're tinkering around with it. I sent Cody a little bit of feedback last night. But then on top of that, just sitting there having fun. Okay, so we want to find... What's our next target in here? We want to find Luisa's password somewhere. Let me back to lesson. So first thing we want to do is we just captured Eddie's credentials, right? So we want to see where Eddie and Bob can go to, but also we want to see if we can maybe figure out where Luisa is. So let's come over to Le Bloodhound. And first thing let's do is let's see where Bob has access. So one of the areas I like to go start with for some nice low-hanging fruit is see what he's a member of. Hold on, you can't see it because my big old fat head's in the way. See what he's a member of down here, and also see if he has any outbound object controls. He does not, but that's okay. You can also sometimes find interesting stuff in here. So we got all the usual data that we want. The security identifier, DN if we ever needed it. Let's see. He's not locked out. Sam account name, Bob, right here. So what is he a member of? Let's go look at that real quick. Okay, he's a member of domain users. That's it. He's got some transitive group memberships, but none of them are interesting. These are all the standard ones that everybody has. So Bob doesn't get us very far. But what about Eddie? What does Eddie have? Yeah, we just need to download more RAM. If you can download more RAM, then yes, Chris, you could do more, token maxing in there. Just download more CPU and more RAM. Actually, there's a new thing out that I'm dying to try out. Let's see. Free token. Let me see here real quick. No, I don't think that's it. Hang on. Flash ML. Is this the one? There's a new system out that these guys came up with, which is a very intelligent way to load a particular type of AI model called a mixture of experts. It's called Free Token. And this is actually really cool because it lets you efficiently split the usage between your GPU, your CPU, and the GPU RAM and your CPU RAM. So it's really cool. I really want to go test this out, but I don't really have a system that... Actually, I do. I have my gaming computer, the one that I'm working on right here. I've been meaning to go test this out to see how far I could kind of push it and test it out. Unfortunately, that means like closing everything so I can like really push it, but that's what I'm looking at right here. So if you hadn't seen this yet and you've got something with some decent hardware in it, that looks really cool. Okay, where were we? We were looking at what Eddie has access to. So let's go see, what does Eddie have access to? Let's see, no description sent. Oh. Okay, Eddie looks like he is just a member of some of these other ones in here. So, not a whole lot useful with this, right? Inbound object control, that just means like basically everybody who could take control of... Well, that's administrator, right? So here's Eddie. Like we have all these systems over here that could potentially come like take control of Eddie. not necessarily super helpful in this context, because that's not what we're looking at. We want to see, did he have any outbound controls? And he did not. So let's go take a little bit of look. Let's do some recon on Louisa over here. Let's see if we can find any information about her. Let's see. Login scripts, none. Let's see. Anything useful in here? Not really up here. She has outbound object control over James, though. Okay, she's got generic all to James. So if for some reason we need to go pivot over to James, Louisa is the way to do it. But let's see, what is she a member of? If I see that 5, I'm going to assume it's the standard 5 in here, which it looks like it. So we need to find a way to get to Louisa on here. Yeah, just download more CPU. That's all you got to do. Let's see. Let me close that out. Dude. Dismiss. I did mean to close it. So we need to figure out where she is in here. So with Eddie and with Bob, we don't necessarily have any great places to go look around. They don't have any outbound control to any of the other systems, at least none that we can see. They could maybe connect to some of the other boxes in there. So let's do something real quick. Let's go back over to Mythic. And I think there was a command to basically get a list of the computers in the network. That might be simple. Let's see. Ifconfig, inject, jobs, psexec. We could just use LDAP query to go get a list of all the computers. Not like we really need it. We can get a list of all the computers in here. So if we come over to our cipher, don't run automatically. If we come over here and we say match C, actually it'd be C, computer, and then return C here. If we run this, we should get a list of all the computers in here. Okay, fine. I think it's type. Crap, what is that? Damn it, even my my Bloodhound cipher syntax is rusty. Yeah, I think I had this right the first time. There we go. Oh, I guess return had to be capitalized. Anyway, here's a list of all the computers that we've got in here. I wonder what that one is. So we have... Okay, so we do actually have a computer named Shares, which I know we could go kind of take a look at what we've got up here, right? We have Workstation, we have File Shares. Chances are Eddie and Bob might have access to the Workstation, but also there might be some stuff over the File Shares in there. So let's go do something else in here. I think I have a copy of it in Sharp Collection. Let's do new assembly called Sharp Shares. Let's come over back to, let me sort by name here. Tools, Sharp Collection. I really need to go delete that other copy of Sharp. I have 2 copies of Sharp Collection in here. They're like both identical. Let's see. 4.0, let's see. Sharp shares. Here we go. Open. How do you like the HackSmarter labs versus the other platforms? I like it because... Stay very still. Her vision is based on movement. Hang on, guys. Thank you. I gotta remember to move the microphone so I don't bust it with my chair. Sock brought me tea. It's like she loves me or something. I still say my single greatest social engineering triumph was convincing her to marry me. I'd like a coffee too, please. She will not bring me coffee this late at night. No, if she sees me cracking open caffeine this time of night, she's like, "You're not planning on going to bed, are you?" I was like, "I am. Eventually." Let me move some stuff around. Desk is a disaster. I'm trying to clean the office up and actually make it somewhat studio-ish. I'm not doing a great job. I keep having other stuff come up. Shoot. In fact, I just remembered something I was supposed to do today. Crap, I'm gonna have to go do it tomorrow. Damn it! Believe it or not, so my father-in-law has an electric dirt bike, and he needs a firmware update on the freaking dirt bike. And he needs help with it. Damn it! And there's a deadline to it. I think the deadline is Wednesday. But stuff was going on today. Stuff's going on every day, man. And I completely forgot that I was supposed to go over there after work. Part of the problem was Honey Badger passed out so hard. He passed out. He crawled into Sock's lap and was just chattering away. And the next thing she knows, he's not talking anymore. He's just out cold. Like, he went from 100 to 0 like that. And so she comes in, she's like, texts me, is like, "Can you come get him?" And then I didn't see the text because I'm working. So she brings him into the office. And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, give him to me. I'll wake him up." I get him up. He's awake. He just melts into a little puddle on the floor. He's 5 years old, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know. Honey Badger is my youngest son. And I'm sitting there like shaking him. I'm like, "Come on, buddy. It's time to wake up. Kind of wake up." He's out. He is out cold. So finally, after like 20 minutes of that, I finally got him to... actually, Sock came in and got him to wake up after she saw the futility of my efforts. Let's see. Let me double check something real quick for Sharp shares. I want to see if I can list all the... Get it to basically scan and find all the network shares for me. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just do that. We'll just have it list all of them. So what this will do is it's going to go talk to LDAP. It's going to get a list of all the computers, and then it's going to go try and enumerate shares on each of those computers. We're not so worried about being super stealthy in this lab. I'm doing a kind of a mix of, yeah, let's do this the OPSEC way, and like, screw it, we'll just do it the fun way. Okay, starting share enumeration against 4 hosts. We'll let this cook for just a minute. And so it should come back with something on each of the hosts, but we're mostly looking to see like what happens on the shares system. Did it not come back with anything? What? What? Do we need to reset our token? Let me see here. I tell you what, let's do this. Since we have Bob's, I wanted to show you the Kerberos way earlier, just for funsies. Let's rev to self real quick. And then let's do a make token in here again. Credential store, let's add a new credential in here. So what we're gonna add is, yeah, plain text, credential subtype. Oh, heck, I don't know. Password? Realm? Bitstream.hsm. Account name, Bob. Custom display name. I don't care about a custom display name. Credential is Pokemon was Bob's password. Create. I'm going to add one in real quick again also for, let's see, password, realm, Bitstream, account, Eddie. And his password was Superman. All right, so let's go ahead and I want to run this with Bob first. Let's see how it works. Okay, cool. So it does say that our user is Bitstream/Bob. Cool. Hold on. I need to execute assembly again. Wait, no, this is not a new assembly. My bad. Yeah, sharp shares. LDAP. Oh. So let's see what, well, first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna run this twice. We're gonna run this as Bob, and then we're going to run this as Eddie. Which Bob should have sufficient permissions to figure out like what's actually available in the network. Using 30 megs of RAM. Good gravy. Okay, so Bob didn't come back with anything. So let's rev to self one more time. And then we'll do another make token. And then we will use the credential store. And we're going to do... Oop, I screwed that up. I did edit. Hold on. There's a way to... Oh, crap. Where is it? I think I can get to it through here. Hold on. Where's the credential store? Credentials. Edit. There we go. Can I edit this one? There we go. Yes. Good. I figured Cody would put one of those in there. Update. There we go. Because I had a typo in the name. So now we can go back to the callback. And now let's do another make token. This time what we'll do is we're going to impersonate Eddie. And we're going to see if he has access to anything. Task. Resolve references. And now we can run sharp shares again. Let's go try that one more time. All right, let's see if Eddie comes back with anything. And if this doesn't work, I'm going to do a confirmatory test with netexec. We'll proxy that in. Okay, still nothing coming back. Weird. Okay, hang on. Let's go do this with netexec then. Let's come over here. Let's do, let's see. Proxy chains. Let's see. netexec SMB. And then, let's see. So our... Actually, let me check something real quick. Did I have those set up here? I did not. Hang on. We're gonna do something real quick. So export domain is gonna be bitstream.hsm. And then we're going to do export. What do I want to call this? Let's call this, Bob user. It's just going to be Bob. Export Bob pass Pokemon. And then I'm going to basically do this so that way I can have an easy way to keep track of all the credentials. This is poor man's credential store over in the terminal in here. So now we also have Eddie. So we'll do Eddie user. Just be Eddie. And then export. I did it again. I did edit again. Eddie. Let's see. Eddie pass equals Superman. I did it up here too. Damn it. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is copy that. I'm going to drop these into the terminal here. Now I can go through and I can actually just use each of these each time. Could you just enumerate all the shares with a Cypher query? Not really, because Cypher queries don't gather share information. Or it's like, Bloodhound doesn't capture information about network shares. At least never that I've seen. Please feel free to prove me wrong. Otherwise, yes, I'd be totally down to do that over in Bloodhound. All right, so let's do proxy chains, NXC SMB, and I'm going to target shares.bitstream.hsm because we should have that in our Etsy resolve in here. So then we'll do domain B $domain, and then user B. We're going to start with Bob first. So Bob user, and for password will be Bob pass, just like that. And then let's just test it out real quick, and then we'll just go looking for shares. Isn't that not the right host name? Hang on, let me double check real quick. Oh, it's not shares, it's share. Share.hsm. My bad. So this is the kind of error we'd see, like if the VPN dropped, we'd see like, hey, we couldn't connect to 445 on that server. Same thing here, we couldn't connect to it because it didn't exist. Okay, so we know his credentials are good. We see that they're working. Let me try it real quick with Eddie. Also, wait, hold on. There's a shares thing in Bloodhound now? No way. No way. Klaus, you're lying to me, right? Now, one of the things also, I don't have that information in Bloodhound, but that doesn't stop us from filtering on it just because I don't have any shares collected, because I did a DC only collection in here, right? Hold on. Yeah, hold on. So match name S. Yeah, so there's no share in here. A lot of AZ stuff. Let's see. Yeah, we get down to the S and T's right here. There's no share option in here. Are you looking at, is that maybe a feature for Bloodhound Enterprise? Because I've used Bloodhound Enterprise quite a bit too, and I've never seen it in there either. Because if it's wrapped in, so like in that one you just sent, if it's wrapped in parentheses, that's a node. So I should be able to match any node in there. Yeah, Bloodhound Enterprise is designed for companies, and what it does is it's a bigger hosted instance, because honestly the Neo4j databases and all that stuff take up a lot of resources. So rather than you having to try and maintain the infrastructure for it and keep it up, it's all managed up for you, lets you get like professional services help, and also it lets you it does like continuous scanning like on a schedule. So it's constantly kind of updating what's happening in Active Directory. So like what we just did was like a snapshot of it, right? Things theoretically could have changed since we did the Bloodhound collection. So the idea with Enterprise is it takes out the hassle of managing the infrastructure and then sets everything up where it can do full visibility across the entire network. Also, one thing we didn't do is there's different types of collection efforts it will do. So we did DC only, where we went to the domain controller and we just dumped out a whole bunch of information. There's another one where actually it will go touch every computer and start pulling information like what users are logged in, what tickets are available, maybe what shares is in there. Should work in the community edition? Wild. Let me try something real quick, actually, because now you have me curious. Let me see. Let me try something with this. I'm going to do a collection method all in here. I'm going to try one more. I want to see what happens. Maybe that edge isn't showing up in the cipher because either I'm running an outdated version of Bloodhound, which I don't think I am, or we just don't have it in there for it to match against. Maybe it's only populating from stuff in there. But also, I don't have any Azure stuff, and the Azure node types were showing up in there. So, I don't know. Hang on. We'll do a collection all, and we'll see how it works. Yeah, but also over here, right? While that's running, let's go mess around with that. Match, we'll just do X. Like AZ app in here. I know I don't have any AZ apps. Return X. Run. See, so I know I don't have any AZ app nodes in here, but yet here we're still seeing it show up in here. So that was what I was thinking too, laughing. Except I saw node types in there that we didn't collect in there. No, you're good, because if this is honestly a feature like that was done and I completely missed it, I'm down. I'm down for it. Hang on. All right, so LS. Let's see, which one was the latest one to run? This one right here. So let me download this. So this one is the one that is 347. Okay. No, that's fine. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to download it. And then I'm going to upload that up into Le Bloodhound, or Meow. Let's see. So, where's administration? Here it is. File ingest. Upload files. Let's see. Downloads. This one right here. Yeah. Open. Upload. Close. So we'll let this one ingest for just a second. Let me go move that real quick, actually. Move from downloads. Move that here into our working folder. We will get additional information about that, even with a low privilege user. We'll get a tiny bit of information, but I'm curious now. Because if it can collect shares, we should see that. I think it's TAC shares in here. And then we can always, excuse me, we can always sanity check this against NetExec in here. Yeah, we don't call it sidetracking, we call it side questing. Also, Digo, I'm sorry, I missed the alert for that you had followed. Thanks for coming online, man. Welcome in, and I hope you're having a absolutely magnificent Monday. Ooh, there's an IT automation scripts one in here. I wonder why SharpShares missed that. SharpShares should have found that. But hang on, this is good though, because now we know on shares, we should see something. Okay, ingest was completed. Let's come back over to here. So, let's see, match S. Yeah, see, like I don't see share or anything in here. Let me check real quick. It's called front tracking. That's right. That's right. Let me see if we got anything else useful in here. What up? Did we get anything more information about Louisa in here? Let's see. Doesn't look like it. We already knew that she... it's behind me right here. But we already knew she had one outbound control. We can jump from Louisa to John, should it be necessary, because she has generic all permissions against him. So we'll do some shadow credentials over at meow. Do we connect over to a Shaw? Just like that. I love me some shadow credentials. Let me see. What do we have on share? If we select this, let's see. SMB signing false. Member of inbound object. So yeah, I'm not seeing anything in here. Sessions, local admins. I would think if shares was available, it would be over in this side system too. Yeah, okay. That would be something that'd be really cool if they could eventually be put into Bloodhound. Typically, though, you're not going to be pivoting through a network share as a... Well, I mean, you can, right? The question was, does Bloodhound track network shares, like SMB shares on a system? And I didn't think it did, but we had contrary opinions in the chat, and I was like, okay, let's go test it out, because I can very easily be wrong. Very, very easily. Okay, so we have scripts over in here. Let's go. Actually, you know what we can do is we can actually just dir over to that. So dir share.bitstream.hsm, and then we don't have a dir command. Unknown command. What? Oh, it's because it's gonna be ls. ls that, and then what was the path? It was scripts, right? Scripts in here. Access denied. What? We don't have access as Eddie? Okay. Rev to self. Do we have access as our system self? I didn't think so. Okay. Make token. We will use... Let's go see if Bob has access to it now. Bob. There we go. All right, so now can Bob get access to scripts? Let's go see. Access denied. Okay, hold on. So we notice how we have a read permission to IPC, but don't have any of those other permissions in here. Let's go try this with Bob real quick. Let's see if Bob had any permissions in here. No, we haven't found Luisa's password yet. Bob's Pokemon password. So he doesn't have any access over to scripts either. But, you know what we haven't checked is we haven't checked the workstation. Let's go check that real quick. Was it WKST? Oh, you know what? Actually, hang on. Let me look at something real quick. If we look at the workstation, since we did a collection all, and we did it as Eddie, I believe. Okay, we didn't get any local admin or sessions, so that means one of these guys is either not an admin or they don't have access to it. So, let's try Bob real quick. We may be able to, like, evil win RM over to it. No SMB there. Interesting. Let's try WinRM. I think it has a win. I think NXC supports WinRM. Let's see. Cryptographic deprecation warning. ARC4 has been moved. Okay, so Bob didn't have access to it, but does Eddie have access to it? Eddie does not have access to the workstation either. Interesting. Take a hint for 1,000, Alex. I don't want to take a hint, man. Let's see, what else could we take a look at here? So we've got shares, which shares does not have. I wonder if we could relay, actually. But I mean, that gets us, hold on. I'm going to cheat a tiny, tiny bit. Let me see. We go back to the lesson. Because that's where we get Luisa's password. So there's got to be some way to get Luisa's password and then move over to share. So in theory, there's something on here. Maybe this would be silly if it's the case, but I think I may have overlooked something. Let's look at Luisa real quick. Hang on. Doesn't have unconstrained delegation. Doesn't require pre-auth. Let's see. No description field in here. Have you tried harder? I'm trying. Do or do not. There is no try. Let's see. I gotta remember what this is. Did we get... Actually, hang on. Let me try something real quick. I don't think I saw it in here. Ticket cache list. Get system tickets. I think Bob was the only user we saw that had Kerberos tickets in here. Bob. Sequel. Bob. Eddie. Those were from us. Sequel, Bob. Yeah, so I don't see Luisa on here. So the only option is, let's see. LS users. Only user we see in here is we see Bob. So unless Bob had a copy of her password, that wouldn't really make much sense. Well, I guess, you know what, let's try. Evil WinRM didn't show up that it worked. Does NXT support RDP? I don't remember. Looks like it does. Okay, so Eddie didn't have permissions to it, but does Bob have permissions to it? Let's go see. Ooh, Bobby Boy has permissions over to that. Okay. Okay, cool. So now what we can do is we can RDP over to that. Gosh, what's the new hotness for Linux RDP clients? Because I haven't really used one in forever. And I don't need to pass the hash, so I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, X3RDP's been my go-to for a long time too, laughing. But also, I realize that is probably a little bit out of date. Typically, what I would do here, guys, if I needed to do this... Yeah, Surround is voting for X3RDP. We could do that. Typically, what I would do if I was like on a real penetration test, I'd actually have a second attacker system set up that's a version of Windows. And I would just proxy this stuff over there and I would RDP from it just like that. Also, hey, ZF, thanks for following over on Kick, man. I appreciate that. I have a note here, I promise, to like get alerts set up on the Kick side. So what should happen is it should play a little dial-up noise. So I did this last night. I'm going to do it again. I'm just going to beatbox it. Thanks for going online, man. I appreciate it. Let's see. Ramina? What is Ramina? Hang on, let me go look at that. If I don't like it, then we'll just use X3 RDP. Ramina. Remote desktop client. Ooh, it does Spice as well. Interesting. Do we have that? Can I easily install that, or am I going to have to go get something for it? Hang on. Remina. I doubt it's in here. What? No. What? What? Okay. Cool. Well, let me give that a try. I would use X3 RDP if I needed to do something like pass the hash. So if I only had their password hashes, that's probably what I'd go use. I don't know if Remina allows for doing that. Okay, well, let's go give it a shot. I'm always up for testing out new tools. Install Remina. I kind of want to call it Ramona. We'll try that. Just because I've never messed with it. Like I said, like Laughing and Surround are saying, X3 RDP is usually my go-to. But lab time is the time to go test out new tools also. Okay. Let's see. Do we have it in here? Remina. Okay, cool. Let's see. What do we do here? RDP to crap, what was the name of the system? Yeah, this one right here. Copy. Pasta. Yes. Username. Crap. Who had permissions? Bob did. Bob with Pokemon. There we go. Username, Bob. Password, Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon. Let's see, HSM. Save password. Can yes? Yes? Is there... Let me save the password. All right, fine. Whatever. Ooh, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna have to proxy in there. Yep. Yep. Okay. That's fine. We can do this. Ramina. There we go. Let's do a little bit of proxy chains. I'm going to tack Q this one. There we go. Now connect over here. Username, Bob. Pokemon. There we go. Bitstream.hsm. I clicked it. I clicked the slider. Let me try adding one. Can I add one in here? Server. I copied this correctly, didn't I? Hang on. I'm going to double check it real quick. That this really was Bob. Could NLA be screwing it up? Okay, so it's Bob and Pokemon in here. Let's see. So I'm going to copy this like word for word in here. Copy. Drop that in. Username, Bob. Password, Pokemon. Show me the password. Okay, good. Domain, bitstream.hsm. I'm gonna copy this. I'll make sure I'm not fat fingering it. There we go. Save. Cancel.
Oh, you know what I just realized? Ooh, I bet. The problem is it's not proxying the connection. That's the problem here. Okay, hang on. So what we need to do is we need to export HTTPS proxy in here, I think. Let me copy this real quick here. Damn it. Hang on. I think the problem is where we're running this from. Let me close that. Let's export this. We're running on 10001. So this is telling us to use a SOCKS 5 proxy, and then we'll try this again. Connect. It didn't like that. Let me double check I got the IP address right. So it should be 10016. I am fairly certain I got that right because I set it up when we first started the range. Let's see. So workstation, yeah, 10016. Maybe there's an option in here where we can change this. Let's see. Preferences, import, export, debug, homepage. Let's see. Preferences. Let's see. Security, maybe? RDP. Let's see. Well, what we might need to do is we might just need to set up a port forward. No, that won't work. Hey, 44, what's up, man? I remember NXC being weird with RDP. Well, this looks like we're on the kind of the correct path. The other option is we need some way to force the traffic over the SOCKS proxy in there. Let's see. Keyboard, SSH options, security. Let's see. Not seeing that in here. Terminal. Nope. RDP. Desktop orientation, offsetting. Let's see. Reconnect after attempts. Yeah, it looks like what's happening is it's probably not hitting the SOCKS proxy in there. All right, let me choose something else real quick. What we can try also is we can come over to Mythic and we can do an R port forward. No, that's not it. Crap, what's the command? So when we try to proxy chains Ramina, what's happening here is it's doing this, and it looks like it's loading sub-processes that aren't working with proxy chains. So here, I'll do it one more time. Maybe I jacked it up in here. So we had this set also. This was a suggestion from Grok, and I think it was bunk. So I told it, I'll leave it for now. But anyway, so we do proxy chains, Ramina, in here. We see it load up, but then it basically like returns. It's kind of done, which to me tells me that proxy chains isn't being enforced in here. So if I hit connect, it's not working here. You can pass a proxy switch into X3 RDP. Don't know about Ramina. Let's see. We know, I mean, we know that it's working over the proxy because it's doing it. It just looks like Ramina is not getting it in here. So hang on one second. I think we could try something else in here. Let's see. Nope, didn't want to do that. Where's our port forward in here? RP forward. There we go. Actually, would that work? Yeah, that'll work. So port number, we'll do 13389. And then the remote IP address will be 10.0.1.6. That was the workstation, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 10.0.1.6. Let's do that. And then remote port 3389. Let's see, port authorization. Nope, we don't need that. Okay. So now what we'll do is, because we're running Mythic locally here, we should see that actually running on here. So if we do, let's do sudo netstat, and then we're going to grep for 13389. Oh wait, that's actually listening on, I'm an idiot, over here. Let's see, netstat, ANOP, We'll see it actually listening on our client over here. No, actually, it says it's listening for connections. Yeah, there it is. So what this is going to do is this connection would actually come back over to us. Yeah, that's not going to actually help. Kill the remote port forward. Because I forgot. That's going from the agent back to wherever kind of like we want it to. Just got here, so I got no idea what's been tried. Yeah, that's fine, man. I understand, dude. Let's see. Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll probably just go with X-free RDP. Even though I really wanted to use Ramina. Let's see. Proxy chains, X-free. Do we not have X-free RDP? Yeah, we do. I gotta remember what the options are for it. Here we go. This is what we need right here. Copy that. I'm gonna prep this command over here real quick. Let's do this. So our user, this is gonna be $, who do we gonna, Bob. So actually this is gonna be $domain. This will be $Bob user. This one's going to be $Bob pass. And then our target's going to be wkst.bitstream.hsm, not HTB. So that should work right there. So let's do proxy chains, and then we'll just use X-free RDP. Oh, I need to unset the proxy part. Actually, hang on one second. I think X-free RDP is respecting that HTTPS proxy. No, it's not. Okay, hang on. So let me unset that, and then we'll do it with proxy chains in here. Okay. Oh, you know what it's trying to do? Damn it. It's still trying to use the dangling tree stuff we had set up. It's trying to use that. Okay, crap. It's trying to use the stuff from the Hack the Box challenge, dangling tree. That's what it's trying to do. I gotta remember what file that is. We have to go change that. KRP5conf, that's where it is. Okay. Let's see. Damn it, I didn't make a backup of it. Crap. Okay. Undo. Hang on. I gotta sudo it. There we go. Nope, undo that. Let's see. Yank that. Put that. Actually, I think I don't need this. There we go. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to change this. This is going to be, let's see, bitstream.hsm. And then this is going to be DC01. So it's trying to do Kerberos authentication. So it's using the KRB5conf. So we've got to go add that in here. So let's do that real quick. So this, it will be, type that in, bitstream.hsm. Admin server will be DC01. Yeah, DC01.bitstream.hsm. And then I believe we need to add this down here as well. So bitstream.hsm. That's going to be connecting to, basically telling it which realm to use. And so this is going to be the bitstream.hsm right here. Take that out. There we go. That's basically telling it like which one to go through and look at. Oh yeah, I forgot you could do that in netexec, laughing. But you know what? That's fine. Let's just right quit this, and then let me try this again. Didn't like that. Let's see. Failed because it's a self-signed certificate. CN wkst.bitstream.hsm. Improper format of Kerberos configuration file. What? I'm pretty sure I've got the syntax wrong on this. I always use separate environments for separate engagements, so I just nuke it. Dude, that's exactly what I would normally do. I probably should just nuke this out and have it and have an XC go do it. I believe I've got the hold on. I didn't sudo vim that. There we go. So the default realm is where it's kind of messing everything up. Okay. Did I not close out Bitstream? Is that the problem? Son of a biscuit. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I thought, I was like, I thought I got this right. See what happens now. Oh. Oh, it's still trying to connect to dc.dangling tree. See that? So we're getting closer. Die, die, die. It won't die. I know we can't connect to... There we go. Let's see. Bitstream? Bitstream? Oh God. What's happening? I think it finally died and it was just dumping to the terminal. Let's see. Do we have to have a default realm set? Can I do that? I'm gonna try it. X-Ray, what are you doing? I asked you nicely the first time. Kill Tech 9 is when it's like, I warned you. Okay, so what happened now? Let's see. Failure for self-signed certificate. It seemed to be working the first time, though. Will X3 RDP handle NLA? I think we might be missing something in here. I think there's a security NLA option we need to supply in here. Nope, didn't like that either. Let me try one more thing. So this is actually one of the good things also, you can figure out like how things are actually working in here. So bitstream.hsm. Nope, nope, don't encrypt it. There we go. So AirConnect login failure. Why? Let me try one more thing. Nope, we just have help in here. I was hoping we had a local port forward. That's one of the things I know we're missing. All right, what is it for NXC? Use cert ignore. Okay, we can try that. Because it looks like it's trying. It's just getting hung up on that self-signed certificate. GenCurve 5 file, is that it? Yeah, that's the one. Ah, what the hell happened? This is the part of penetration testing that actually happens more often than you think. It's like, why the hell is this command not working? This command should be working. What's going on? Making you question life choices. And then finally you find the magic combination of switches that makes it work. Now the problem is, let's see. Let's see. We need to do, I think, SMB here. And then we need to change this to, I think, DCO1. And then generate KRB5 file. Okay, krb5.com. Yeah, every time you do this, you forget to put it in your notes and you can never remember what you did. I know, right? Okay. I forgot about this too. I really should just go blow away the KRV5 comp. Copy. So, export that. Actually, I wonder if that's actually going to work. Typically, what I will do is I'll actually put in the full path to it. So this would be PWD KR. Let's see. There we go. This is the way I prefer to do this, is make sure and put in like the full path over to it. Okay, so let's go try this again. So what we have is, nope, that's not it. Where's X3? There we go. All right, so what we're telling it is use NLA. I'm going to take that out. Actually, hold on. Yeah. I'm going to take out NLA. I'm going to tell it cert ignore right here. And then we'll see if this will work with this new Carrier 5 system. Proxy change is working, right? We see it making proxying the connections, doing its thing. Let the French. If Jurassic Park had a $10 budget, secondhand movie company. You know what pisses me off about Jurassic Park? The whole thing could have been avoided by having more than one IT person, right? If they just had more than one IT person, that never would have happened. Yeah, this user should be allowed to RDP in there. So here, we'll run it again real quick. And for comparison, right, we had two users, right? We had Eddie. We had Eddie here. Hang on one sec, guys, because Peaches is going nuts. She needs to go outside. Hang on. I'm gonna leave the. Yeah, we'll try that. Be right back soon. Hang on. Be right back. Back. I'm back. Guess who's back? Back again. Blaise is back. Tell a friend. I'm an idiot because I've used the wrong user account. I use Bob instead of Eddie. If this works now, I might cry a little bit. You ever seen a grown man cry? You're probably about to. Okay, we're getting closer. All right, so what is going on here? Yeah, I see. I'm watching the time too. I'm trying to get this part done before we run out of time tonight. What is going on here? So for some reason, yep, that's the problem. I think I can split these. So the problem was there was $domain / to try and target the user, and yep, that's what was happening in there. I'm pretty sure. Come on. Come on, you can do it. It's doing some Kerberosing. It's doing some Kerberosness. All right, let me try something real quick. I think I need to wrap this. We're gonna have to wrap this before we tap this, because it looks like what's happening is it's not properly escaping these. I saw some. Where was that? I saw it somewhere in here where it was just showing those $signs. Yeah. Because notice how now it was doing this before. But earlier we did the echo, right? Here. We're getting it in this case, but it looked like it wasn't taking those $signs properly. Let me try this. My own shortcut might have been shooting me in the foot. Oh, we're supposed to be using Bob? Damn it. Was it Bob? No, I was using Bob. That was the mistake. Eddie actually looks like he's got administrator permissions on the system over here. So we should be using Eddie. All right, let me try something else, because I think this might be just messing it up. So what we'll do is we'll do bitstream.hsm. I'm just going to type it in directly. Eddie, password was, oh crap, what was Eddie's password? Was it Superman? Eddie was Superman. Okay. Let's take that out of the equation here. Server not found in Kerberos database. Yo. Hey, Nix, what's happening? What's good? Man, we're just trying to get our RDP client to connect. It's being a pain. Server was not found in the Kerberos database. That's weird. I did do the Gen 5. Yeah. Because we've got it. Our KRB5 conf now points here. And that's here. Right there. Let me try one other thing in here. Can we force the off package? I thought that was an option. Also, hey Hats, by the way, what's up, man? Sorry, I saw you coming in. I'm focused on what the hell this is happening in here. Let's see. So our Curb 5 conf shows we have a default realm Bitstream, DCO1 Bitstream admin server. Default domain is bitstream.hsm. Bitstream, HSM, DCO1, Bitstream. Okay, so all that should be good. Those two should be lining up in here. Workstation.bitstream.hsm. Let me try taking this stuff out again. Now that we know that it was a username and password that were getting screwed up by the shell escaping, let me try this one more time. I'll let it just auto-negotiate its own thing. We'll see what happens. Hey, Didi, what's up? Welcome in. Yeah, that's what I was just trying, Gumby. We're going to see what it does. If we take out the cert ignore. Let me double check something real quick. Let me double check the workstation here. WKST. What spins do we have on here? Yeah, we have the terminal server spin on here. Why does it go to DCO1? Because DCO1 is the Kerberos key server. So if we look at the Curb 5 conf, right? So here's our host. This is important because all of Kerberos relies on host names and DNS resolution, right? So we have 10025 resolving to bitstream.hsm, which is the domain, and to dco1.bitstream.hsm, because that's the domain controller. So now if we look at the Curb 5 conf, what we have is we need to tell it where it needs to talk to for doing Kerberos negotiations, right? So in here, we tell it, hey, you're going to talk to DCO1. That's the KDC, the key distribution server. And the default domain is going to be bitstream.hsm. And then we tell it that's the default realm, matches here. And then also how to basically match these, I think, with DNS names. Oh, hey, Diddy, thanks for coming online. I'm sorry, I'm working on getting the kick alerts set up. So I apologize I haven't got them on. Also, just so you know, typically I'm not on Monday nights. I'm usually streaming Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. But I'm doing a little bit of extra makeup stream because I felt bad. I've been missing a couple of them in the last month and a half. So I was like, let's make it up to everybody. I've been promising makeup streams. We're going to do one tonight. So moving houses, we'll have to take the home lab apart soon. Oh no. So shame that YouTube doesn't allow links. I had a cat wheel on a roof rack of my car. Looked like an E3 AWACS Sentry. Nice. That's pretty funny. Let's see. So our Curb 5 should be good. Let me make sure workstation is set correctly. So workstation should be resolving to 10016. Yeah, 10016. We're good here. Let me try something here. This was the command suggestion from Gorkus. So we specify the domain, user, password, workstation. We explicitly specify the KDC host and the host name here, even though it should kind of reconstruct that in here with the TAC V. but we're going to try and set it explicitly. Cert ignore and use NLA. It didn't like that. Unexpected keyword. Well. I think Gorkus has lied to us. It's been known to do that. Let's see. Which ones are not liking? Maybe the host name? Nope. What about the KDC host? It doesn't like either of those options. Come on, connect. Connect already. Damn it. Let's see, which range am I in? Hang on a second. I have a Windows 10 system in this lab. Hang on a second. Well, which lab is this? This is the dev range? Do I still have that box? If so, we might be able to do something. Let me see. Proxmox, where's the dev system in here? Members. We do not still have that Windows box in here. Damn. If that Windows box was in here, we could actually just use that and test it out. I wonder if this will work. Auth package list not Kerberos? I've never even seen that option before. Something with the TLS? I don't think so. What options do we have? Hang on one second. Let me look at something real quick. Let's look for netexec real quick. Netexec, RDP. What options do we have with... Let's see, RDP protocol. Password spraying, that's not what I want. Do we not have anything else? Screenshot, screenshot without NLA, command execution. Will this actually work? Let me try that. Can we just get straight command execution with Bob? Hey, Peaches. No, this was supposed to be Eddie. Okay. Let me see if this will work. Well, RDP looks like it's the only one we've got in over to workstation. It doesn't look like WinRM is working. It doesn't even look like SMB is accessible. So I'm going to see if I can get regular command shell execution. I've never tried this before. Well, we're gonna test it out. Okay, so that did not work. Damn. right, let's try something real quick. Let's see if we can get a Kerberos ticket for Eddie. No, that's gonna fail. Hang on. We gotta proxy change that. Stop. Password for Eddie. Superman. Let's see. So we should have that. K-list. Okay, so we have one here. Curve TGT for Eddie. Okay. So we got that. Let me try this again. Proxy chains. All right, so we have our workstation, wkst.bitstream.hsm. That should be good. We have our domain, bitstream HSM, user Eddie, password Superman. That should be good. This is one of my big beefs about X3RDP, and it's like, I'm so verbose. So it's still saying that it cannot initialize the context here. Let's try, what if we change it from the workstation to the IP address? Let's try that. Maybe then we can force it to not use Kerberos. 10.0.1.6. That's the dumbest fucking thing ever, man. That's dumb. That was a terrible idea. Doing that. Go away. Go away. God. Windows 11, you're such a dumpster fire. Such a dumpster fire. Damn it. I broke it just by trying to like load up PowerShell in here. Also, hey Vandal. I didn't see you pop in the chat. What's up, dude? React Native UI on Windows for the win. I don't think it's really for the win though. It's more like fuck that Windows. Let me try something. I wanted to. We have Edge, EC2. Oh God, why is it just shitting itself right now? Yo. Mandrew, I checked all the freaking settings beforehand. The TTS should have worked just fine. This OBS setup is a little jank. I don't get why that didn't come through. Anyway, hey Mantroop, what's going on, dude? Hadn't seen you in a while. Hope you've been good. So the fix was we told it to use the IP address instead of the host name. I'm not copying that command over into my notes because it makes no freaking sense. Except that by using the IP address, it does force it to use NTLM authentication rather than using Kerberos. So if we come look at this, let's see. Yeah, so by using the IP address, notice how there's nothing in here about Kerberos at all. That's what happened. That's what happened. Yeah. To be fair, OBS seems to be written by 3 hamsters in a sheep suit. It's not just OBS. There's a weird quirk to this streaming computer that the virtual audio cables drivers.
Sound off like you got a pair.
You're so full of crap, Killa. The virtual audio cables like disappear momentarily, and it causes the 2 programs that need it to just absolutely shit themselves. Yeah, I see the time. I see the bell. Oh God, why are you such a piece of crap? I think it's G. Never mind. We'll just deal with the tiny window. Why are you being such a pain? Doing some homework? Oh, so good, man. Hang on. I know we're at time. I'm going to see if I can get this figured out, though. Because this is pissing me off. Alright, let me check something here. Let's go back over to Mythic real quick. Let's go ahead and... Port 1. Let's see. Action. Stop. Okay, so it's still showing we have a socks proxy in here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so hold on. Now I'm going to start the proxy over again. So sometimes these proxy processes can get kind of jank after a little bit. Sleep 0. Let's make sure we just sleep it down to nothing. Fire those packets as fast as you can, Apollo. Okay. Stuff's happening now. Task manager. Let me see if I can still do this in janky Windows 11 land. Give me the old one. This is the fun part about penetration testing no one talks about, is all the times you have to go fight your tooling. This is why I like to have a Windows attack box set up. Let me try something real quick. There are options we can put in here to try and help speed it up in there. Nah, this copy of it doesn't have it. Network modem. Basically telling it to try and use less data as it's going through and doing these things. Hey, Band, what's up, dude? Yeah, BBC crew. Dude, I'm so sad we didn't get to, I wasn't at DEF CON so we could hang out. Is Commando VM still being used? I think some people do. I've never had a lot of luck with Commando. Okay, that didn't work. I just want a stable connection. It died. Okay. Close. Can I close this? I can't interact with anything. Anything that remotely tries to load a UI component over here just shits the bed. All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're kind of at time. Hold on. Snooze that. We're at time for tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'll go set up a Windows attack box, and that way we can go through and proxy stuff over to it. I'll have to go get a copy of Proxifier and set it up, but I'll show you how to do that. Put it into MS-DOS mode. I would love to. Hang on, I'm going to try one more thing here. This is a suggestion from Grokkagus in here, which I don't think it's even going to work. This is supposed to be helping optimize it in here. Invalid signal. Didn't like that. Failed to parse GFX. Okay. Let me try one more time, real. Let's see. Try using dynamic resolution. Dude, it like anytime you're interacting with the UI, it just wants to crap itself. All I want is PowerShell. Okay. I'm gonna try it again. PowerShell. Why is it all of a sudden working better now? That's a Windows thing? Yeah, it is. Okay. Let me see if I can find something real quick. This was our XP command shell here. This was our download exec payload. It died again. It died again. You son of a biscuit! This would not be OPSEC safe during a real, like, red team. I don't know if it's going to let me send the clipboard over. Oi. Oh, dang it. It's because we don't have that up right now. Crap. Let me see. Where's our, is it in downloads? Hang on, we need to get our payload over there. Apollo SQL, okay. Hang on. I'm gonna get this mother tonight. Apollo SQL, move that to home, HackSmarter, range, Bitstream. Yeah, oh, I'm already there. And then, okay, there it is. What was that? Python, HTTP server, 10,000? Was that the port I used? Yeah, 10,000. Okay, hang on. We're just getting the Python server back up. Come on, don't you die on me right now. Don't you give up on me. Live! You want to live? The connection wants to live. Damn it. Crapped out on me again. Son of a biscuit. I just want to get, so here's what I want to do. I want to get in there. Yes. Yes. It's doing it. Do it. Now kill me. Awesome. Awesome. That's right. Definitely not pooping right now. I can see it still. Damn it. The problem was I hit tab. And so now it's chilling, trying to like, oh, F you, PowerShell. So what's happening is it's trying to figure out all the ways it can complete a.exe. Okay. We should see hopefully a new callback. Nice. Okay. Awesome. Let's come over here. I'm going to sleep this biznitch down. Hang on. The ads are running real quick. Let me let them, since everybody's been chilling, waiting for this, what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to do share persist to, so that way we have persistence on this system here. But it's not a PowerShell problem, it's a Windows RDP problem. You are correct, Gumby. Yes. Okay. Should have this in here now. So, hang on. I'm going to chill right here. I'm going to wait for the ads to finish up real quick. So that way, everybody who's been watching the saga, we can get this last part in here. Because what I'm going to do next is we're going to set up persistence on this box, since it's just such a pain. Okay, ads are done now. Cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to New Assembly. We're going to come in here. Let's see. Let's go to Tools. And we'll go to Sharp Collection. .NET 4.0. And we're going to look for Sharp Persist. Right here. Open. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to put in a new scheduled task as persistence in this. So what we'll do is we're going to call this the Blaise Bits service. Actually, oh no, that's not correct. This needs to be the actual path to where we're going. Oh, thank God it copied it. Okay. So then this will be a.exe. So that's the command that we're going to run. Ooh, will that work? I think it will. I think we do, let's see, tack in Blaise Bits. Tack M, that's the mode. We're going to add that one. Task it. This will hopefully get us some scheduled task persistence on this system. So we got to wait for it to, it's chunking up the executable, sending it up there, and then it's going to run it. And then we can start digging through this system for her password. Okay. Oh, you know what I didn't set, though? I didn't set... Sharp persist. There we go. Let's change this. I need to... Actually, you know what we could do? I think we can just do a... Hold on, what is it? It's list? Yeah. Let's make sure that that actually got set in there correctly. Don't forget to fix the firmware tomorrow. Dude, I feel like such an ass because he's been getting on me. There's a deadline for it too. And it just completely slipped my mind. Hang on, I'm gonna do something real quick here. Let's paste this in here and then search, find. We don't see it in here. Damn it. Okay, hang on. I'm going to modify this copy in here. Let's do something here. Because it didn't actually... Looks like it didn't actually create it. So let me take this out. Let's go get the command path we had used. So that's this one right here. Tell me what we want to run. Copy. Drop that right there. And then scheduled tasks create hourly poop. No. There we go. So hopefully that should run pretty regularly in here. I'm going to try this one, this variant of it. Okay, sharp persist. Here we go. Take that out. Okay, so schedule task. We're going to have it run command exe, and then it's going to spawn our executable, and it should be called Blaise bits. Should be running hourly task. Schedule task with that name already exists. What? Does it? Hold on. Why didn't list actually show it then? I also want to make sure it's there. Let's see. How many lines is this? A lot. So it looks like we copied everything. Weird. Why is it not showing up in here? You have to do list equals all? Wait, do you? Don't be lying to me, Gumby. Coming here talking like, oh yeah, you guys gotta run it with list equals all, you know. Let me see if I can try it with, so it's tac, if we do tac M, we should be able to specify a name too. So name. Let me list this one. The troll is off for real. I'm not sure if it's user or system specific. It should be working. So what's weird is the list option didn't show what we had in here. There we go. There's task info. So why the hell didn't it show up in this list? Yeah, it just shows the one from our demo command up here. That's dumb. Anyway, it should be on there. Where's the trigger? Daily? Okay, we want to change that. Hang on, what was the one for changing it? Yeah, I think that should work right there. Oh, the task type changes, actually. Hang on. So schedule type backdoor. And that's when actually we want to change it. I want to change it to hourly, because right now it's set to daily when we looked at it. And then after it returns back, then I'm going to go check it again to make sure it's stuck. I don't have permissions to modify the schedule task I made. So full of crap. Okay, fine. You know what we're going to do? You know what we're going to do? We're just going to make another one. I'm just going to make another one. Blaise Bits 2. There. Suck it. If I get multiple shells back, who cares? I'm honestly surprised Sock hasn't come to yell at me yet. Okay. There we go. It was added. Nice. Nice. Okay, cool. We've got persistence on there now. Awesome. Yes. Gumby is King Troll. Supreme Overlord Troll. All right, guys. Unfortunately, that is where I do need to wrap it up tonight. Let me see here. Let's see. Who's over on InfoSec streams? CyberDoc is on. Let me see who else we've got on. Real quick. We might go right over to the CyberDoc. Ooh. Hello. Who is this? OffSec Proving Grounds. Oh, Shakira's doing it. Let's see. Are they online? No, they just went offline. Damn. I think Gumby's the only one who has a command named after him. Let's see. Oh, wait, you know what? Shy Hat's on. Perfect. We can go. We can either go right over to Shy Hat again. Let's see. I don't see CyberDoc on. That's weird. It said he was online. Yeah, he's on. Yeah, he's doing some CISSP study. Let's see. Oh, there's CyberDoc. He is showing up in the list here. Okay. Yeah, not really seeing anybody else doing much of anything tonight. Actually, I told you, hang on. Let me check one more thing. Who's over in... Who else do we have in Science and Tech? There could be some unknown to me person. Let me see what they're doing. Let's see, Dark Side Diaries is on. Earthquake monitors. Some kind of AI DJ? Pass. I prefer the real DJs. I'm surprised there's 54 people watching a live earthquake monitor. That's kind of wild. Okay, I guess we'll just go right over to CyberDoc. I don't see anybody else doing anything super interesting right now. Yeah, there he is. Okay, we'll get that started. All right, everyone. You'll have a fantastic night. Woot. Let's wrap that up. I apologize for missing so many streams. I hope the makeup stream helped a little bit with it. I still owe you like 3 more, I think, but this was one I could squeeze in. You guys have a fantastic rest of your week. Crushing It mode was in full effect today, so keep at it. I'm going to keep at it. I've got a lot of like brain fry happening, but it is what it is. So everyone, y'all have a fantastic rest of your week. I will catch y'all Wednesday night. We're going to do some hacker news for the week. Got some interesting stories. If you've got any news stories you want covered on Hacker News, go drop them in the Discord. There's a thread in the news channel for this week's news stories. Go check them out. Makeup stream tomorrow night? No. No makeup stream tomorrow night. I got to go do firmware updates on the dirt bike. Because I forgot to do it today. So that's all I got for you guys. Y'all have a fantastic night. I want you to remember one very important thing, and that is I love you. Peace.